everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Toad Talk podcast. I am your host, or at least one of them, Croakitoad, aka Tad. Nice to have you back on board wherever you're listening, whether it be on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcast. We are back again for our seventh episode. It's hard to believe we've been doing this for 7 weeks now, but we've had a lot of fun doing this, and we really appreciate all the feedback from everybody out there that has given your suggestions and feedback to us to further improve the show. We actually had one recommendation or question rather when we were going to be switching to a more of a video format to show us on webcams, and that is something that we discussed when we first came up with the idea for this, but we decided to do it kind of this way, more of a an audio kind of podcast, just to get our foot in the door and slowly maybe evolve into that. But really appreciate all the feedback from everybody out there listening, and I hope you guys have been enjoying all of our episodes. Joining us tonight is going to be the return of one Jeremy, aka Raji. He is here.
What up?
And filling in for Grem tonight, aka Zazarus, we've got the return for his second episode, Nate.
I'm back. I'm sure everybody missed me.
Yes, last time we had you on was what, episode 2?
Episode 2, yep.
Episode 2, and now you're back for episode 7. And lingering in the shadows, we also have Coke, who will be joining us for a few topics here and there along the way as well. You'll have to pardon his sore throat, though.
Yeah, what's up, everybody?
Yep.
Okay, yes.
Wait, was that Coke or Jack Winters?
That was Coke Winters.
Coke Winters. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, welcome aboard. We've got a foursome here tonight to do episode 7. Should be a good one. Oh, yes. All right. Well, we're going to start. Should we actually, you know what? I'll pass it off to Raji here before we go to Bring Your Own News, and we'll go ahead and talk about just a little bit of an update or maybe just a refresher course on that big that big game giveaway we've been doing the past couple episodes, past several weeks. We've noticed that all of you have been replying in the YouTube comments with the special hidden Easter egg hashtag, and we really appreciate that. We've been paying attention to all of you guys posting and really appreciate the feedback on that. But I'll pass it over to Raji to kind of give maybe an update or kind of refresh some of you that are just hearing about this for the first time about the Pragmata game giveaway.
Yeah, 1 week from episode 8, we'll announce the winner of the giveaway for Pragmata, and the winner gets to pick the platform to get the game on and whether or not they want a physical copy or a digital code for the said game. When it comes to physical copy, there's no Steam physical PC release, but we will be doing physical copies for the other consoles. If you want to enter, go to episode 4 on our YouTube page, type in the comments hashtag Toad Giveaway, or type in hashtag Toad Giveaway in our Discord channel for the podcast. We currently have 7 entries for that, and we'll announce the winner on next week's podcast.
All right, very cool. Next week, episode 8, we'll be finally announcing the winner.
I forgot one very important piece of information. We will also be announcing the May giveaway next week as well.
Oh, giveaways. Nice. I think a lot of people out there love hearing the word giveaway. Very cool. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Be sure to throw those hashtags into the YouTube comments. We are paying attention. If you can kindly post that in episode 4, that would really help us out. But you can also post them here. We'll be watching on all the comments before next week's episode and gather together all the entries, and we'll announce that winner on next week's podcast. So be sure to listen in. Okay, that being said, we're going to move over to one of my favorite segments we like to do every week. It's called the Bring Your Own News segment, where we just randomly pick about something happening in the world for this week that we want to bring to the table and just kind of talk about. I'll go first, and I will talk about how the big announcement back on April 10th, April 9th, 10th, around that time frame, that Oklahoma City is about to get its first UFL team. And I've got a 30-second clip here from ESPN Sports Center that we'll just listen to real quick about Oklahoma City getting a professional football team that isn't OU or OSU. That's college, of course.
Hey, Matt, this just in the Sports Center. The UFL has announced that it will launch a new team in Oklahoma City in spring of 2028. The name, color, and logo of the team will be named at a later date. Also coming later, a new stadium in downtown Oklahoma City, a multi-purpose facility that will seat 10,000 for games. Now, UFL co-owner Mike Rapoli said Oklahoma City lives, breathes football and called it a no-brainer to add a pro team in the state.
Well, there you go. That's my bring your own news to the table. Living in Oklahoma, it's always been a question like, when are we going to finally get a pro team? When are we going to get an NFL team? And the age-old answer here, at least where I live, just south of Norman and deep in the heart of OU Boomer Sooner country, is we don't need no professional team. We got our college. And so I'm a little bit iffy about the response on getting a pro team in Oklahoma City, but I feel like the city is growing. It has certainly grown the past handful of years. I mean, now we look at the Oklahoma City Thunder and we don't even blink an eye, but there in the earlier years, people were like, NBA team, Oklahoma City, really? Now we're talking about a brand new arena in spring 2028. Now we're talking about pro teams of other sports joining the fray. I think Oklahoma has really grown in the past several handful of years, and I think this is just goes to show that. And I don't know, I'm kind of like still stuck in that whole Oklahoma's a college state. We don't need pro team, but I'm also at the same time really excited to see the opportunities that could come from this, given more sports teams and a professional level as well. So we'll see how it goes. And by the way, in terms of having a name for the team, my idea, and I think a lot of people really like this idea as well, was to name the team the Oklahoma City Twisters. I think that's a perfect fit, a perfect name. And if they actually end up with that, I think that'd be great. I'd be a huge fan of the Oklahoma City Twisters. But that's what I'm bringing to the table. I'm going to pass it over to Raji. What you got?
Well, we all in the gaming world love the two words: leaks and remasters. Nintendo got hit with both those words this past week. Whether or not these are actual leaks / rumors remains to be seen. Several games that were supposedly leaked or rumored, take with a grain of salt. Like Super Metroid Remake would be awesome to see. Switch Sports for Switch 2. I'm a big fan of that. But the biggest one that everyone is concrete is more likely to happen than the rest of them is the Ocarina of Time remake coming to Switch 2. And this isn't just an upscale version of the 3DS port or whatever. This is supposed to be a big budget rework from the ground up remake of Ocarina of Time. And they're also developing a special edition Switch 2 console to commemorate the remake, because this is a big year for Zelda. I think this is a big anniversary year. Don't quote me on what year. I'm not sure. But yeah, that is what got hit with Nintendo. I'm excited. Ocarina of Time is in my top 5 games of all time, and this will be pretty cool to see come out.
Very cool. Yeah, I could see a lot of fans being super stoked about seeing this go down, and it sounds like a lot of fun. All right, moving over to Nate. What do you have for us for the table this week?
I'm bringing something DLC to the table. Friday, Power Wash Simulator 2 released the Adventure Time DLC. And of course, my cheap arse actually got it. And I started it last night and got through the first couple areas, but I'm not going to spoil it. It's actually nice and relaxing, and graphics wise, it's actually beautiful. It looks exactly like you're watching Adventure Time. So it's worth the $7.99.
Nice, and it has the same amount of levels that the original Power Wash Simulator DLCs had as well, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's I think 4 or 5.
Okay, cool. I'm a huge sucker for Power Wash Simulator content, whether it be the original or 2. I have this on my list to do. In fact, I think I'm actually supposed to stream it tomorrow. Monday, I think, is what I was. Yeah, that's right. We're doing Minecraft and then after that, 1 hour of Minecraft and then Power Wash 2 DLC tomorrow. So I'll be able to offer my 2 cents on it because we'll be streaming it on my Twitch tomorrow. So
Nice.
glad to hear you're having a good time with it, and that gives me hope that it's going to be a good time, good fun time. All right, well, that will conclude our Bring Your Own Table news segment for episode 7. We're going to switch on over to gaming.
Yeah, hang on. Hold up.
Uh-oh.
I know you're tired, but bring your own table news segment.
Yeah. Okay. So look, spoiler alert to anyone listening right now. Let's see. What was it? 11 hours ago, I was picking weights up and down and working at a powerlifting event. So I'm a little toasty tonight. For a second, we weren't going to do this tonight, record this on a Sunday night. But I decided we'll go ahead and do it tonight. So my apologies if I mess up a little bit. You can fact check me in the comments if I screw up a little bit. I guess that was
it's okay, Devon.
I guess that's strike 1. Strike 1 for me. 3 strikes and I'm out of here. Okay, so bring your own news segment is concluded, and now we will switch over to games. We're going to kick things off. Coming in first is Overwatch. Not Overwatch 1, not Overwatch 2, but Overwatch. They renamed and brought it back to just original OG Overwatch. A lot of fans were happy to see the 2 is gone, but now they're talking about a new character, which is very FPS oriented, joining the cast of characters to Overwatch. They released this, according to IGN, April 8th, so sometime last week. And this new character, FPS character, is called Sierra. We're going to take a look at the hero cinematic trailer right here.
Mesa team, don't let Deadlock get away with those weapons. Backup's on the way.
Overwatch has the perimeter. What's your status, Captain?
Read to the Naughton Vault. Talon's trying to pull a fast one, but I'm en route to cut him off at the pass.
Copy that. We're sending agents to assist you.
I'll slow him down till you get here.
Assets secured. Meet me at the extraction point.
Stop right there! I'll take that back now.
Objective compromised. Initiating failsafe.
Henry! Stop! The threat is neutralized! You don't want this fight. I'll be seeing you real soon.
Very cool, man. I will say one thing. Blizzard just continues to have great cinematics with their gaming, whether it be Overwatch, World of Warcraft, Heroes of the Storm, what have you. They always do a great job. Cinematics are always 10 out of 10 when it comes to Blizzard for gaming stuff. So really impressive there. Sierra looks like a first-person hero, so kind of the ilk of like Soldier 76, I'm assuming, and she will be available on April 14th, so 2 days from now at the timing of this podcast. And it sounds like she's going to be more of a good guy hero as she tries to take down Talon. And apparently Watchpoint Grand Mesa in Summit Breach will also be a new map, I'm assuming, that they're going to add to the rotation here as well. But this is really cool. Admittedly, we haven't played Overwatch as much as we used to since before the whole change to Overwatch 2, but I'm always a sucker for Overwatch. And the last time we played it, I had so much fun getting back into it again. But there's so much to learn now. There's so many different characters. It's not like how it was for some of us in the OG era. So definitely a relearning experience. And now you have one more character being added to the roster and to the fray here in 2 days' time. Roger, what are your thoughts about this? Did you have any experience playing Overwatch at any point? And do you think that there's just maybe too many characters, or do you think this is a welcome addition?
Yeah, I actually got back in Overwatch. When the whole switch when we went back to just naming it regular Overwatch. Whenever season 1 of this year kicked in back in February, that was when they announced 10 new heroes for 2026. 5 new heroes actually released back in February. So Sierra is actually number 6 of the planned 10, with 4 more left to go for the rest of the year. They said going forward be 1 per season, so it sounds like they only have 4 more seasons left this year, which the way season 1 timed out makes sense. But no, I don't think there's too many heroes. There's a what we like to call comp. There's a different comp for every situation, whether you're using one hero to cancel out another, or you're using a hero to try and get an upper hand. It's just there's always an option for somebody out there. It doesn't matter whether if you like to play support, tank, or DPS. And actually, in the new update, they've split each role into sub roles. So now each sub role or each role, tank, damage, and support now have sub roles based on the ability. So there's a lot more that goes into it now when you pick characters than it was before, back in the OG days, Overwatch 1 and 2, where got to have somebody tanking, got to have support and all that. So you have to really think. But I like the look of this new character. I definitely will give her a shot when she comes out. Blizzard has always been great about giving us keeping everything free DLC wise for the most part. And yeah, so in a couple of days, can't wait to try.
And you just mentioned free. So anyone that has existing, previously bought Overwatch, this is just going to be retroactively added into their gameplay, or will they need to pay anything extra to have access to this
The only,
hero?
the only thing they pay for is cosmetics. Every hero that is added to the game is given to everybody to free to play.
Nice. Okay. Nate, honestly, real honest here. I can't remember if I feel like, no, I don't think you ever did play Overwatch with us, did you?
No, I'm not much of an Overwatch player, but I'll sit and watch it whenever you're streaming it, though. But I mean, it looks like cinematic wise, obviously, since I've played WoW. They always Blizzard has great cinematics. That's a definite given.
And
Gameplay wise, I mean, it looks good because everything's first person, but
mhm.
it could be fun.
Yeah, this new character definitely adds a new, for those players out there that do like playing in the FPS kind of mode instead of other kind of camera angles or perspective points or POVs or whatever. Definitely adds another layer to that. If maybe Soldier 76 has been taken and you're still wanting to fulfill that FPS itch, you can pick Sierra as a
Right.
secondary if you like. All right, well that's really cool. I admittedly we need to get back into Overwatch. I do really actually miss it, and even comp. To be honest, it's kind of a running gag in our community that, ew, we're gonna play comp, so sweaty. But actually, the last couple of times we actually played comp, we actually didn't do too bad. So I'd love to jump back in there just as a one-off. Maybe this weekend or next weekend, we'll throw some Overwatch into the lineup. I would really love to do that and just to get my bearings back on the game. I actually legitimately really do miss Overwatch. And my boy Zenyatta, I love Zenyatta. Probably forever be my main. Which, before we move on to our next game, I got to ask this question. All right, Raji, what was your main, or did you switch through mains?
So back in OG days, I played Roadhog a lot. Back when it was I don't know if it's still OP now, but it was a hook melee. No, sorry, hook shoot melee. It was always a one-shot combo. Now, I can't remember the name of her right off the bat, but she has a crossbow. That is who I've been maining recently. She has been pretty good for me. I think Freya, I think is her name. I could be wrong. I think her name is Freya. But yeah, I've been trying all kinds of heroes because I haven't played. I took a big break in Overwatch. I didn't play any of 2, so there's all kinds of heroes I've never touched before. So I'm still dabbling in each one to find out who I like the most. But right now it's Freya.
Awesome. Okay, well, you could certainly, at least I hope, fingers crossed, expect some Overwatch content coming from the Croakitoad community very soon. Always a fun one to play with friends, and this is just seeing stuff like that just gets me amped up for more Overwatch, to be honest. Okay, we're gonna move over to another game that we have here. We got Forza Horizon 6 cooking up through the guys over at Xbox, basically. And this is going to be on Xbox Game Pass as well, launching on May 19th through Game Pass. And it looks like eventual release as well on the PS5. But we're going to take a look here at the Art of Driving trailer for Forza Horizon 6. A lot of racing gamers out there really looking forward to Forza Horizon 6, which apparently is taking place in Japan, I believe.
You can yell, pass out, throw up, you can scream.
Oh my God!
Sometimes you just want to dance.
Who knew ice was so frail?
I'll keep this separate.
Come with me, Larry Chen, as I journey across 3 unforgettable regions of Japan, alongside 3 incredible artists.
Don't say anything!
We will uncover the places, stories, and culture that inspired the mural artwork created for Forza Horizon 6.
You can build an entire world that is so unique.
From neon-lit city streets to snow-covered mountain roads,
Seeing this view, I think it was worth it.
we'll experience it all behind the wheel of 3 iconic Japanese cars. Along the way, we'll meet new friends and discover what truly makes these corners of Japan so special.
It's the most epic place to be when it comes to what we do with cars.
Awesome.
This is the art of driving.
That's great. I could feel the vibes through that, and anyone who knows me good knows that it's always been on my bucket list to go take a trip to Japan. The joke often when this gets brought up is that once I go, you probably never see me again because I'll just stay over there. But this looks super awesome. Once again, I haven't really dove that, or should I say drove, haha, that much into the Forza Horizon series. I think we dabbled in it a few times on some multiplayer nights here and there previously on my live stream, but I've never really sat down and just really invested time into this series. But this might bring me in, just it being Japan and just me having just that. I just feel like I have some kind of like connection to the land, and I've always wanted to go there and just make a trip out there and just go see and just enjoy and relax. And this looks like a lot of fun. You can just cruise around and check out all the sites. And I know previous Forza Horizons have done a really great job in keeping the aesthetic alive through the game and keeping it like one for one with real life. And just I feel like once I play this, I'm not going to be able to put it down. Super looking forward to this. Looks like it's coming out May 19th for Xbox platforms through Xbox Game Pass as well. And this just looks like a really fun game to chill out and just have some fun. I will have to definitely follow up on this and see how the achievements are. That would be the only thing that hinders me from just jumping right into this. But we'll take a look at that a little bit later when they get dropped. But Raji, what do you think about this? Does this appeal to you? And have you had any experience with the Forza Horizon games before?
Well, I'm gonna have to ask you to not say that date anymore. If you know, you know.
May
No,
19th.
I've learned from the Watch Dogs trailers to not get excited about the looks of a game because that in-engine footage looks so realistic that there were some parts of in-engine footage that I couldn't tell was in-engine or them actually driving. Like that, like it was like not that part. That part you can definitely tell. But earlier in the clip, right before that part, it was kind of hard to tell between what they're like they were actually filming or it was in engine. It was crazy. Yeah, it should say in-engine at the top in some of those. Yeah, like right there. Like it's like just at first glance, you're just like, whoa. Like when you start to look at it, you're like, okay, yeah. But no, I dabbled in 5, I believe, 4 or 5. I think I'm not big into racing games if it's not NASCAR, um, but I definitely will give this a try for community nights because I think this will be a great game for the community.
Yeah, just a bunch of us getting in cars and just driving all around Japan and just doing random stuff. That just sounds so wholesome and amazing to me. I am really a big fan of that idea. Nate, what are you thinking about this? I know you like to jump into Game Pass games as well. Is this something that you'll think about grabbing?
Actually, I think that's definitely going to be on my grab it list because I'm going to grab it just so I can jump in and play. And then, of course, maybe, while we're all cruising around, I could wreck a few people intentionally.
There you go. But it's Japan. It's supposed to be the land of peace and tranquility and zen. Ramming into people.
Not when this community gets into it.
Oh boy. Hey, there's a difference between Bristol and Japan. All right, we have our special fourth shadow agent joining us just specifically really for this trailer right here. He's been talking about this and he said he's been eager to play this and has it pre-ordered and everything, I believe. What are your thoughts on this and how excited are you about this one coming out as compared to all the other Forza Horizons that you've played? Does this look like it's going to be like peak Forza Horizon or does it look about so right now? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'm strongly considering pre-ordering the Big Boy edition with all the DLC.
Okay,
But
I thought you had
the
pre-ordered it.
like the core of all the Forza Horizon games, it's mostly the same, just a new map and just different cars, different music. But like the biggest difference after Forza Horizon 3 was like the season thing in 4 and 5. And like in 5, just the way the seasons were was just kind of lackluster, if you ask me. But I like that, this could be like actually like a winter and everything and this and of course the Japanese map is interesting. Like the if you played the Tokyo Extreme Racer games back in like the PS2 era, like on the highways and everything, doing all that. So it's gonna have a little bit of that. It's gonna have like just a little bit of everything, and hopefully they'll have like a focus on like Japanese cars. So I can soup up my Supra and kick your ass in a 1v1.
So I got a question since you're very experienced in the Forza Horizon games. How many people can you like link up with in terms of like playing together? Because I know it's more of like a sandbox kind of game, but how many can you group up together in like one party?
I think it's 8. Let me check. I can check real quick.
I'm looking at these
'Cause I know
shots.
Forza Horizon 3 had like a co-op campaign mode specifically dedicated.
Back in 5, it says you could play with up to 12 of your friends.
Ooh, nice.
So
Optimus says 6,
12,
so 6 to 12
players. It says 12 players, but obviously one of those players are you, so 11 your friends. It's known as a convoy, I guess, in Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Or at least in 5.
Man, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's been that way in 3 as well.
I'd like to
But yeah,
get
man, I can't wait.
a full stack convoy
Yeah,
on
imagine
this
us
when it
like
comes to...
drifting on that like that highway ramp there in the video.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we get Roxas in there, and he'd probably just wreck us.
Probably.
Or he'd probably get stuck in the trees again, like that happened when I was doing Forza Horizon 5 with him.
And this is a dumb question because I know in previous games you probably couldn't, but you can't actually get out of your car and like walk around and stuff in these, right?
No, but there's like a drone mode where you can look around and do like photos.
Oh, okay,
That
cool.
was added in Forza Horizon 5.
Nice. Okay.
Something tells me you're gonna be using that all the time.
I feel like I will. Like I said, I'll be keeping one eye open on the achievements for this if they're not too ridiculous or time consuming.
I don't remember the Forza Horizon like 5 achievements really being that bad, and you could probably, if it's multiplayer, you could probably just grind them out in a party.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye open on
there
that.
might
But
be a few, yeah.
Definitely interested in this. Can't wait to see what the achievement list looks like. And if everything's a green light, you can definitely expect me to try to plan out just a big giant multiplayer convoy night on this. I think that'd be a lot of fun, just to chill out and vibe with the aesthetic of Japan and just go around and drive around with friends and hang out. I
Hey,
think
what day does that get released again?
May 19th.
That's going to be May 19th. Look out, Festus
I
is
think if
coming.
you get the big boy edition, it comes out a few days earlier. So I'll probably have a quite the head start against you.
Nice. Well, you'll have to come back next time the podcast and let us know what your thoughts were on the early access. Cool. All right. Well, that's one thing we got to keep our eyes looking out for next month. A little over a month away. May 19th. May 19th. That's a WWF joke, by the way, for those that don't understand that. All right. Coming up next, we've got a remake that came out. We got a pre-order trailer here we're going to check out. This is for a game series that I've always heard of, but never really played. So I'm kind of looking outside my box here on this one. But it is definitely a franchise I've wanted to finally start. And with a remake coming out of the original game, this is a great time to start, I would say. But we'll take a look at this really short trailer and see what's going on here. I literally really don't know anything about this, so I'm going to be watching this for the first time and sharing my thoughts. Okay, well, there wasn't really a lot to go on there. I think when they made that trailer, they pretty much assumed anyone who had played the original was going to be excited to see this remake. But this was Gothic. Some of you out there may have experience with the original games. But this is a pre-order trailer that we just watched, and it looks like Gothic Remake, June 5th. And you know what? I have to say, it does look... I mean, it's basically what I would say is kind of like your Skyrim-esque kind of game, kind of like Two Worlds, Skyrim, Morrowind, not necessarily Morrowind, I guess Oblivion, really. Third person, medieval type of game, combat, adventure game. And I know there's going to be probably some Gothic fans out there that are going to absolutely butcher me in the comments. I apologize. Like I said, I've never played these games before in this franchise, but I really would like to step my foot into it. And hopefully this Gothic remake is a good game for people like me who have never had a chance to play them to finally jump in for the first time. The trailer was super short, didn't really give you a whole lot to go on, but it just basically seems like your basic like medieval-esque action third-person game there with different... Looks like you got like you can try being a warrior, a sorcerer, archer, stuff like that. And I'm not sure how the classes work or anything like that, or if you can just switch on the fly or choose, or if you pick a specific character when you start your game. But either way, it's THQ Nordic, and will be available on Xbox, PS5, and PC. And looks like it is dropped on a June 5th. So, Raji, you have any experience with any of the Gothic games? And does this look appealing to you in any way?
No, haven't played any of them before. I do know that they are third person, and you were kind of getting it around the head. It gives me like Oblivion vibes, but also gives me a I don't know I can't tell you the MMO off the top of my head, but there's an MMO out there that's kind of like looks the same, that's in third person, looks just like it. Definitely something that I could probably dabble in and see if I like. But yeah, it's crazy because Gothic 1 actually released on the Switch 3 years ago, and they as Gothic 1 Classic. So for them to do a remake shortly after doing that, there must have been some kind of appeal there from fans that made them do a remake. So all luck to them. I'll dabble in it, see if I like it. If not, I'll be honest about it. And yeah.
Okay. And Nate, what are your thoughts on what you see here? Does this look like something you try out, or?
I think it would be something I'd try out because it kind of gives me a little bit of a WoW aesthetic. Because like I said, I played WoW, and you know, yeah, I might have to do a little thinking, but I'm more of a hack and slasher kind of guy. But that's okay. I mean, it'd probably be worth trying at least.
Okay. Specifically, I like how they put it's a very short trailer. It's only like 30 seconds long, but I like how in this very short trailer, they really try to tack in as like many environments that they could. Like you go from like snowy fields to a mountain range to a forest to a tavern to a deep and dark cave. And you got like stuff with like portals, and there's a shoreline next to a ship. You got like a cathedral looking thing and a temple. It looks like you're just all over the place. So I really do like that about games like this, a la, Elder Scrolls, Two Worlds, Fable, stuff like that, where you just all over the place and the scene changes, or Witcher for that matter, The Witcher. So yeah, really cool. I'll definitely keep an eye on this, and hopefully the reviews are good the previews are good for this, and I'll definitely, if once I do drop on it, I will share my thoughts, being a first-time Gothic franchise visitor. Okay, we've got one more game to check out, and this one I do know about. This was dropped, when was this dropped? This was April 3rd, so not too long ago, and this is from basically the Xbox team, a la Undead Labs. And me and Undead Labs go way back to the original game of this series. Lots of people are super stoked to hear about State of Decay 3. I'll share a little bit more of my thoughts after the trailer, but I do have experience with this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with this. So we'll play the trailer real quick and see what we got going on here.
Any survivors out there? Is this thing working? Can you hear me? This is Brant Fitzgerald from the Undead Labs Enclave in Seattle, and I'm broadcasting this message to the State of Decay community to give you an update on State of Decay 3. Over the last few years, most of the team's been doing updates for State of Decay 2. The rest of us been creating cool for State of Decay 3. We've been keeping a close eye on what you liked about State of Decay 2 and what you didn't. We've read your feedback on Discord. We've watched your gameplay clips and live streams on YouTube.
We just got 3 in 1, baby.
And through it all, we've seen how powerful and tight-knit this community is.
That's all you gotta do, guys.
It became clear the community is survival and that we need your help. And if you've made it this far, great, because starting next month, we'll be hosting a series of alpha playtests with the community. Listen, I'm not going to spoil the surprise for you, but I can say that it will feature 4-player co-op, some new base building and resource strategies, and a whole lot of combat. If scavenging supplies in the middle of a zombie outbreak sounds fun to you, then grab your ruck, pack some mags, and head over to our website to find more information and register for a chance to be included in the alpha. If you don't get contacted for this round, don't worry. We'll keep your name on the list and have plenty of other opportunities for you throughout the year. We'll be sharing more updates like this throughout development to keep you up to date on what's new, what we're learning, and let you know about more opportunities to join the fun. Thank you again for your support and your patience over the years. We cannot wait to share more information about State of Decay with you. Remember, community is survival. Oh, God.
Nice. Well, that really came out of nowhere for me. I was not really anticipating a third game release for State of Decay. I started off with the original game and had so much fun because I'm kind of a loot panda. Out when it comes to games, I like to scavenge and collect just everything I can. So I spent so many countless hours of going out as my survivors going to these neighborhoods and scavenging everything I could out of these houses while the undead zombies roam all over the land and bring it back to your base. And it's got a very much a base management kind of aesthetic, and I absolutely love that as well. So it kind of, and of course I love zombie survival horror games too. So it kind of hit me on 3 different points there personally playing the original game. I did dabble a little bit in the second game. I did actually finish it. I completed it one time, but I should have. I feel like probably should have spent a little bit more time on the second one, but definitely the first one. I put so many countless hours into it, and then the 2 expansions they did for it as well. And now this one sounds like it's going to be just like the first 2, but just even better. They continue to expand and learn about how their game is and just do better each time it rolls around. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. And they also mentioned 4-player co-op. I'm not sure if that was an actual option in the second game. I can't really remember, but uh, yeah, if it is a 4-player for the first time here, that's super exciting and really amazing. I can't wait to share experiences on the third game with other players in the community, Croakitoad community as well. But yeah, I'm really excited for this. I will definitely be looking out for this and can't wait to fully invest. And we will definitely have to sign up for the alpha play test as well. I might actually do that as soon as we're done with the podcast here. Raji, do you have any experiences with any of the State of Decay games? And if not, does this appeal to you at all?
Oh yeah, I remember playing State of Decay 1, and the main thing that I remember saying about that game was, "Wow, this should be a co-op game." And we thought they heard our complaint, like, or heard our feedback, and when the second one came out, I believe it didn't initially come out with co-op. I think that came later down the road in the second one. This is both of the games have been absolutely fun. Some people may call it janky. I call it a masterpiece because it's just everything you could put into a post-apocalyptic zombie game is there, and I think they did everything right. So I'm excited to try out the third one and see if it gives me the same kind of enjoyment that the first 2 did.
Real quick before we bring Nate in on this, I just want to say that one of the biggest heartbreaks in playing the State of Decay games, and probably anyone listening out there that's ever had experience with them, is putting so much emotion into a particular character that you end up with, only to have them die on you. I remember fondly having this character, this female ex-military character that I was really fond of. She was like the main character I tried to play with throughout the entire campaign. And just randomly, in a matter of seconds, a scavenging mission went completely wrong. It was the dead of night. And then this big, I think do they call them boomers or whoppers? I think they're boomers, or big boys or something. They're very large zombies, like big zombies, like obese zombies. And they can basically one shot your character if they get grabbed. And I remember me getting grabbed by this big boy zombie, and he just ripped my character in half, 2 different pieces, right through the waist. And I was like, no. I put the controller down and I was like, nope, I'm done. I spent so many hours with that character. And this is a unique thing about the State of Decay games is your characters, while they are interchangeable, you can switch through different survivors that you find throughout your gameplay, and you'll wind up with different survivors each time you play the game. They can be killed. The zombies can kill them. The different types of infected can kill them, and you will lose that character. And it's heartbreaking when that happens. So I just wanted to tack that in here. And those of you who've played these games before know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, Nate, what do you think about this 4-player co-op, zombie wasteland, base management and survivor management with 4-player co-op? What are your thoughts?
I mean, it looks fun, but it might be a little tough for someone like me to play because I'm more of a casual gamer and I'm not oh my God, I got to get real in depth in them. But to watch it, I'd probably watch it, yeah. But play it, I'd probably give it a couple of tries, and with my luck, I'd probably get real frustrated with it and throw the controller and walk away from it.
Yeah, I feel like these games, if you're not really paying attention to your health and stuff, or kind of just know the basics of the game, it's real easy for you to lose a character and die in this. And it's heart-wrenching, especially if you've grown attached to that character. But yeah, it's definitely got a learning curve in it for sure. But that's just the State of Decay way.
Right.
All right. Well, that will conclude our gaming wrap up for episode 7. We've got one movie trailer we're going to check out, and it's based off of a game that I've actually played before. Another movie game trailer coming out. Let's take a look at this trailer and see what we got. Well, okay, that trailer ended very abruptly, but that's called the Exit 8. It's a game that I played on stream. I actually got all the achievements for it as well. Basically, you play a character in a first-person setting. You're in basically a subway tunnel, and you have to traverse this tunnel and this curve into another tunnel and go up the stairs, and you have to do it 8 times. And if you find anything weird with the setting, maybe the tiles are a different color, maybe there's a ghost haunting happening, maybe a door opens and shuts, maybe babies are crying in a locker like in the trailer we just saw, random stuff like that, or just creepy stuff. If the man walking towards you has a very creepy look on his face and he's staring straight at you and it's just unnatural, you have to turn around and go back the other direction, and you have to guess accurately 8 times, and if you make it through the 8th, then you make it out alive. And so it's a very simple concept. It's basically kind of like a find the hidden anomaly kind of game, and if you can choose correctly 8 times, you make it out the game. And apparently they are making a movie out of this. Looks like it will be released in theaters April 10th. Actually, it came out 2 days ago, apparently.
If I could interject right quick, you actually
Sure.
did not play the trailer. You played just an exclusive clip. That's why it ended abruptly.
Oh, okay. So it's just a clip of what happens in the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that explains the sudden drop in the supposed trailer there.
Yeah,
but-
I was kind of like, wow, I've never seen a trailer end like that. And then I saw the title of this video was exclusive clip. I was like, oh,
Okay. Well, we got a little bang for a buck there with the babies crying in the locker. This, I really like the game, the anomaly stuff. I'm not like a huge fan of, but Exit 8 in particular, I had a fun time trying to figure out and see where all the anomalies were. It's basically like a hidden game. If you see something off, and then after a while, your eyes start to play tricks on you, and you're like, wait, was that sign there? Is that sign supposed to be there? Is that bench supposed to be there? Is that floor supposed to be that color? Is that how many lights there were in the ceiling? And if you get it wrong, it resets you back to the level 1 again. And so you have to guess correctly each time. And if you get it right 8 times, then you beat the game. And it looks like this movie is kind of, I really like how they went kind of 1 for 1 on the color scheme, the tile flooring, the yellow strip in the floor, even the cigarette no smoking sign seems to be 1 for 1 with the game as well. Very simple premise, and everything. And the guy even says no anomalies, which is really cool. Looks like whoever is responsible for this movie knows and has played and has some experience with Exit 8, and I think that's great. But yeah, it looks like the movie came out 2 days ago. I might actually have to try to dig this up and see where I can Looks like it is in theaters. Okay, I'll have to see if it's in a theater near me because I definitely want to go check this out, considering I have experience with the game and the lore and stuff. Raji, what about you? Have you played Exit 8 or maybe some other observation games like Observation Duty? And does this look like something that you'd check out?
I actually haven't played it, but I have seen speedrunners play this game, and it is wild how their brain and their eyes can process that fast. They turn the corner, and as soon as they turn the corner, they already know there's something wrong. It's crazy. So I think this would make a great, interesting movie. There's kind of like movies with the same kind of concept, kind of like the same concept of like living the same day over and over again, trying to break the anomaly of the same day over again. So um, it says the runtime of this movie is an hour and 35 minutes. It'd be interesting to see what kind of lore they throw in here, because obviously in the game, I don't think it. I could be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think it touches on how you got there or what happens after you get out. But then maybe they'll touch on that in the movie.
Yeah, no, as far as I can remember, it just plops you in there in the tunnel, and then you just start off, and then when you go up the 8th set of stairs, it just basically says you finish the game. So yeah, there isn't really a before or an after explanation on this, and it's funny you bring up an hour and 30 minutes runtime of the movie. I'm really wondering how they're gonna do. They really go in depth on the different anomalies? Because that I don't know. That sounds cool. I don't know. It's weird to kind of wrap my brain around a game like that being turned into a movie. But I'm definitely willing to give this a shot, and I really want to check this out. Nate, what about you? Have you ever been a fan of like hidden objective games, past or present, or anything like that?
I haven't really played much in the way of hidden objective games, but for a movie, I'd probably go and sit and watch this because I like to sit there and observe and try to figure things out, you know. So that'd be kind of actually worth watching.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, and it's definitely got that scare factor as well with the baby in the locker, and then all the lockers turning red, and yeah. So it looks like it's a very good thriller. And hey, maybe if we can even find the movie online, we'll do a Discord night on it or something. I think that'd be a really fun one to watch together on the server.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was our only movie wrap up for this week's podcast. Exit 8, definitely on our radars. Speaking of radars, we had another NASCAR race today, I believe, since we skipped last weekend for Easter. All the NASCAR drivers had to take a week off because they knew what was coming, and it was called Bristol. And we had a big winner coming in, winning his first. Why does he look like a 7-year-old on this picture? What the Jesus? I'm looking at Ty Gibbs on the standings, and he looks like a 7-year-old.
Well, he's 23 because he's born in 2002.
Wow. Okay. Well,
So
well, the little baby driver picked up his first win this season, winning at Bristol, coming in first place, and that he'll add to the top 4 ahead of Chase Elliott now, who got that big win a few weeks ago. And still in the first 5, we got Tyler Reddick with those big 4 wins, Ryan Blaney coming in second, Denny Hamlin coming in third, Ty Gibbs 4th, Chase Elliott 5. And real quick, let me just check and see where our boy is, because we always got to talk about him. Where is he?
I mean, Kyle.
I'm scrolling. I'm still scrolling. Wait, did I miss? I missed him, didn't I?
24th.
24th. There he is. Yeah, we had to talk about him. Mr. Kyle Busch, Mr. KB, Big KB in the 24th spot. But I will pass it over to Raji to talk a little bit more in depth about Bristol and what's coming up around the corner in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah, so Bristol is probably as a community, one of our favorite tracks, just because it's a half-mile short track. Anything can happen, except for this race. This race was kind of dominated by 3 drivers. Only 3 drivers out of the whole field of 37 led laps, and those 3 drivers finished the top 3. Ty Gibbs led 25 laps. Second place, Ryan Blaney, he led 190, and in third place, Kyle Larson led 284 laps. It looked like a Kyle Larson dominating victory was going to happen today, until some late wrecks set up some overtime, and Ty Gibbs brings it home for his grandpa, the owner of Joe Gibbs Racing, and yeah, it's it was looking boring for quite a while because Kyle Larson had a huge lead. He was maintaining a 2 to 3 second lead ahead of the pack, and then late in the race, chaos happened, and Ty Gibbs found himself in the right spot at the right time, and comes away with the win. And that sets us up for the Advent Health 400 next week in Kansas.
Okay. So what you're saying is the big one didn't really happen. It was more like the mediocre one.
There were several mini ones. Only two drivers DNF'd. There was There was a couple of drivers that I think they might have not finished. The results doesn't say they were out. It says they're still running, so they may have went to the garage for a long time. So there's so in the Bristol race there was 505 total laps, and so John Hunter Nemechek and Shane Van Gisbergen both only completed 324 to 335. So they may have went to the garage, came back out, and was down over 100 laps. But at the same time, you just come back out just to finish. So there was only 16 cars on the lead lap at the time of the race finishing. Bush finished 25th, 2 laps down.
Okay.
So
was this the result you were expecting to see with Ty Gibbs coming through and winning this one, or were you expecting somebody else to come through on it?
Just the way it was, just the Kyle Larson. It looked like a Kyle Larson Ryan Blaney show, just for how many laps they led today. I knew Ty Gibbs. He was getting closer and closer each week, just from the Daytona 500 to this week. You knew his time was coming to win his very first race. Just every week he kept improving, was making moves, and I just knew in the back of my head that give him a good short track, that might be his chance to win. And he comes in and takes Bristol by leading only 25 laps. So yeah, I'm happy for him. I know his grandpa's happy. I know this is a long time coming, getting his first career Cup win. So yeah, and another win for Toyota.
Nice. And also to point out, there's 3 Joe Gibbs Racing team members in the top 10 right now, as of now. So
yep.
Also something to be happy about. Of course, Hendrick also has 3 as well in the top 10. All right. Nate, were you watching Bristol today? Were you trying to look for any big ones happening on the track, or what are your thoughts about Ty Gibbs winning this one?
I was looking for the race on TV and I couldn't find it, which go figure, but that's nothing new. But listening to you guys keep up on it for me was usually the best benefit. So, but I mean, the fact Ty Gibbs finally got his first win, that's good. I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm not really a big Toyota fan because I'm more of a Chevy guy, but we won't go there. But I mean, the first win's always the toughest, but then after that, eventually he'll start winning more, and maybe he'll be as good as, like, say, like a Tony Stewart was whenever Stewart raced for Gibbs.
I will go ahead and put more information out there. The race time was 3 hours, 1 minute, 50 seconds. The average speed was 89 miles an hour. There were 12 lead changes. There was 9 total cautions. 72 of the 505 laps were under caution. The 5th fastest lap was 15.6 seconds, and the margin of victory was 0.055 seconds.
Wow.
The race today was on FS1. The next 2 races will be on Fox. So Kansas and the big Talladega race will be on Fox. Then we moved to FS1 for the last 3 races of the Fox stint, and then we moved to Amazon Prime for 5 races, and then TNT, and then USA and NBC. So we're about that at that split where we move from Fox to the NBC network or the network of NBC channels such as Prime, NBC, TNT, USA, and all them. So Just giving everybody an update. They're trying to figure out where it's out on TV. Today's race was FS1. Next 2 races should be on the regular Fox channel. Should be easy to find on local TV.
Cool. And the Kansas is coming up this Sunday, and then the one after that is the following Sunday.
Yeah, this week's Fox Kansas, and next and then 26th Talladega will also be on Fox.
Oh yeah, Talladega. Nice. That'll be a big one. No pun intended, of course. All right. Does Coke have anything to add to today's Bristol results?
Nothing much other than I'm actually kind of disappointed about where Kyle Busch ended up. I thought he'd, have done a bit better because historically he's pretty good at the Bristol race.
Yep. Didn't quite pan out for him today, but was Jimmy Johnson racing in it?
No, Jimmy Johnson is in the stand. There's only 37 racers in the field. Jimmy Johnson's in the standings because he participated in the Daytona 500.
Okay, so he just did that one-off race, and so he's therefore listed. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just wondering about that because we keep bringing him up too, and he just has 0 points. All right. Well, that's your NASCAR report for this week. We'll be back to talk about Kansas next weekend, and then the big Talladega in 2 weeks. Should be fun. All right, we're going to switch on over to the NBA, and things are starting to heat up. And I don't mean the Miami Heat, who are the number 10 seed on the Eastern Conference, by the way. We got the playoff picture posted up, and looks like it's going to be starting up in 2 days. And obviously, my Oklahoma City Thunder, number 1 seed on the Western Conference, they get to play the winner of the Clippers in the.
Well, no. Let me jump in here.
You go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. Take the steering wheel.
The NBA has a play-in tournament, kind of like March Madness has a first 4, but this is a little bit different. So on the Western, on both sides, the 9 and 10th seed will play each other. The winner of that advances to another play-in game. The loser of that game is completely out. They have no chance to make it into the main for the first round of the playoffs. So then you have the 7th and 8th seeds playing a game. The winner of that will take the 7th seed in the first round of the playoffs. The loser of that game will go and play the winner of the 9-10 seed game. And then the winner of that game will be the 8th seed in the first round of the playoffs. So it's 3 days of play-in games, and the actual first round will be on the 18th. 14th to 17th is the play-in tournament. So you have 8 teams, 4 from each conference playing for 2 spots on their respective sides. So they're playing for the 7 and 8 seed of the playoffs.
Okay, but eventually the Thunder will eventually play one of 4 teams: Clippers, Warriors, Suns, Trailblazers.
Yeah, eventually they will play one of those teams.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
No, excuse me. Yes, it's correct. Yes, still correct. But 2 of these teams, one will play the Thunder, one will play the Spurs.
Yes. Okay, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah. I was just making sure because I know the arrows are so confusing and they don't help at all.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Thunder in the Spurs on the Western, waiting to see who they're going to be playing against, whether it be the Clippers, Warriors, Suns, Trailblazers among those. On the Eastern Conference, we got the Pistons and the Celtics waiting to see who they're going to play over on that side, whether it be the Hornets, Heat, 76ers, or the Magic. Meanwhile, the Lakers know they're taking on the Rockets. The Nuggets know they're taking on the T-Wolves. The Cavaliers know they're taking on the Raptors, and the Knicks know they're taking on the Hawks. So that's your playoff picture right now. And man, I hate to be that guy, but I'm once again smelling another OKC Thunder win here.
I could give that to you. It's just I would be concerned about 2 other teams out of the whole playoffs, and that is the Pistons and the Spurs. More so the Spurs, just because they're right up there with the Thunder and how they're performing and their win-loss record. Spurs have seemed dominant all year long. It is quite a telling tale on how the Spurs have turned it around. I know they did well last year, but they might be onto something this year. So I'd be watching out.
They do have a pretty good record. I mean, they're two losses behind the Thunder, so you can't take anything away from them for sure. So that should be a really good game.
Actually, if the reason why I say to be worried about the Spurs is because they are 5-1 against the Thunder in regular season this year.
I was hoping you weren't going to mention that.
The only time that the Spurs lost was a 119-98 game on the 13th of January. So Godspeed.
I think we got this. Nate, what do you think about the NBA picture here? Are any of your favorites in the playoff picture right now at all, or are you interested in what's going down in NBA right now?
I usually don't really watch much in the way of basketball, but seeing as how the closest franchise to me is the Timberwolves, I mean, it's good that they're in. But honestly, probably the one team to look out for overall in the playoffs would have to be the Knicks, because last year they finished pretty strong. Like I think they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals or something like that, but then lost. But I'd say look out for them. This could possibly be their year where they try to make it to the finals at least.
You know what? If Grem were here, he would probably say the same exact thing, because I know he's a huge Knicks fan as well. So it's almost like Grem is with us tonight. All right.
Well, yeah, Nate was right. Knicks made it to the Eastern Conference Finals where they lost the Pacers 4-2. And it's funny, the Knicks were the 3 seed last year, just like they are this year.
Okay. Well, there is your NBA wrap up for the beginning of the playoffs. Starting, well, of course, we have the play-ins, but coming up in this weekend ish, we're gonna get everything rocking and rolling for the NBA. We'll be back next week to talk a little bit more about it, see if there's any developments or surprises or shocks or whatever going down, and see where we're at on next week's podcast. But that's the lay of the land as it stands right now. All right, moving over to UFC 327. We had a big news report from that coming from the light heavyweight title bout, but I'll let Raji go more in depth on that. It's kind of certainly made headlines and is a very just crazy moment to happen in the history of UFC. But yeah, it's certainly made the headlines here. For that, I'll go ahead and pass it over to Raji because he knows a little bit more specific details about what went on last night on the UFC pay-per-view.
Yeah, there has been several things I have seen in my time watching UFC. I have seen fighters snap their leg in half. I've seen actually that happen on 2 separate occasions.
That was Silva,
in the
right?
fight. Silva and Conor McGregor both have snapped their legs in the middle
Oh, that's
of the fight.
right. Yep.
And the fight ended instantly. This one is not as gruesome, but watching it, it kind of is. Carlos Ulberg, in the very first round of his light heavyweight title fight, he's trying to win the title off of Yuri Prochaska. I don't know if I said that name right. Yuri Prochaska is the champion. Carlos Ulberg trying to take the title from him. Within the first couple minutes, they're exchanging blows on standing up. And I believe he got caught and he staggered backwards. And when he planted his back foot, which would have been his right leg, and went to go forward, you could see something pop in his leg that sent a ripple through his calf. I believe it has been confirmed he tore his ACL in the middle of a fight. Now you're saying, well, that's not that big of a deal. Well, it is, because now with an injury like that, if this goes to a round break where he goes to his corner, he no longer has a chance to win this fight because the doctors will not let him to continue, and he would have to forfeit the rest of the fight, leaving Yuri Prochaska to retain his title. However, he kept fighting, and 3 minutes into the round, Yuri did the thing you should never do, and that is to let your guard down and play with your food. Carlos Ulberg nailed him with a left hook, knocked him down. He pounced and won this fight by KO, and what is being dubbed as one of the biggest upset comebacks in the history of the UFC.
That's pretty wild to have an injury like that and just come right back out and just knock your opponent out. That's just so wild. It just goes to show how far adrenaline can take you in moments, high in octane moments like that.
Adrenaline's a powerful thing. I mean, if you look at WWE at all the times, Triple H tore his quad, his ACLs, and he still fought through it, even taking the walls of Jericho on an announce table after doing that. It's just crazy how far adrenaline will carry you.
For sure. Now he is the light heavyweight champion. Have they released any kind of news about what they're going to do? They're just going to let him sit out on injury with the belt, or how are they going to do that?
Usually they try to space people out 2 fights a year, so 6 months. Sometimes there's fighters that only fights once a year. Title champions tend to fight more often, but if he's going to be out for a period of time, they'll do a what they call an interim champion, and then eventually, when the actual champion is healthy enough to fight, then they will face the interim champion to become the undisputed champion. This happens quite a lot in the UFC due to various factors, so I expect that to happen this time. I expect to have a interim light heavyweight champion, and then Carlos will have to come and fight the interim to claim the undisputed title, which could set up a rematch with Yuri if he is selected to be a participant in the interim fight, but that is yet to be mentioned. I'm sure we won't hear about that for another 5-6 months.
Okay. And from what I'm reading here, were there only 3 total matches on the event?
Oh no, 327 there. So 327 are how UFC fights goes. We have the preliminary fights, which you could usually find on TV, and then they'll move to the pre-fights, and then they'll move to the main card. So the preliminary fights is like the really early fights as people are starting to show up, and then you have the undercard, which is the first few matches of the actual card, and then the main card, which is on pay-per-view, ends up being like 4 or 5 fights.
Okay. So
Just to fact check myself, I will check the card, because I don't know if they changed anything since moving to Paramount Plus. So just 1 second here.
Oh yeah, you're right, because we got Reyes defeated Walker, split decision. Swanson defeated Landwehr by TKO. Okay, those weren't listed on the other one. Okay, I was gonna say that's kind of weird. How only have 3 matches.
So this was all on Paramount Plus. So there's a 3-match early prelim card, a 4-fight prelim card, and then a 5-fight main card.
Okay. Wow, that's really crazy. I watched the video earlier and saw his. They're thinking maybe hamstring or something, just like pop, and man, it's wild. It's like he completely no sells it, swings that left, boom, wins the belt. It's crazy, and then still has the ability to walk around and everything after the fight.
Yeah, it was confirmed that that pop was his ACL.
Oh, ACL, yeah, yep.
Piecing out. His ACL pieced out. Was like, yeah, we're no longer
tore his ACL, still was able to knock the guy out and still walk around the match after, just with a kind of a smile on his face, looking at the crowd. That's crazy. Wow, very impressive. All right, well, that might be the first time we've talked about UFC on the podcast, actually.
I think so.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Nice. Well, it's certainly something to talk about for sure. Very monumental moment there. All right, we're just going to kind of quickly scrape by through the WWE news real quick. We're just going to talk about our favorite little guy, Danhausen. Sorry, I called you little. Please don't curse me. Before we get into this, though, I will tell you now, WrestleMania is this upcoming weekend. We will be covering all of the WrestleMania both nights card. So I know some of you WWE fans probably, they're not going to talk about. Don't worry, we'll be back on next week's podcast to talk about all of WrestleMania, cover all the results and all the matches and stuff, and maybe we'll even drop some match of the nights between among us, which matches we thought were match of the night. I have a silly prediction that I think my favorite match of the night is going to be Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill. I've just been a huge fan of that on paper since I've seen this develop. But I've been hearing also a lot of things about people not being as excited for WrestleMania this year. Just the buildup has been just kind of like on all fronts, but we'll see how it pans out and what the response is. I know a lot of people also kind of that it's in Vegas 2 years in a row, so that's kind of also in consideration on people's opinions right now. But it is what it is. We'll talk about WrestleMania next week and get into that. But for tonight, for this week's podcast, we're gonna see what happened to Danhausen over on SmackDown on April 10th, 2 days ago. He competed in his first actual televised WWE match on SmackDown against Kit. Sorry, Grem will correct me. Kit Wilson. And we're going to just kind of watch the final moments of this one-on-one match that was on SmackDown real quick here.
To get up there for that men cry to elbow drop. He's in the target zone. That's it. Oh, that's a double curse. You a believer now,
What the hell was
Barrett.
that? There was a
What do you mean, what was that? It's a double curse.
There was a pyro malfunction.
I mean, it's like Grucci family fireworks on the 4th of July. Did you see it?
Now there's a malfunction.
Oh, and he pokes Miz in the eyes.
Between the legs of Kit Wilson.
Delivers the big boot. How about it?
All right, there you go. Danhausen picking up the win over Kit Wilson over on SmackDown. Knocks the Miz off the apron with the with the eye poke of doom. Since
the buckshot eye poke.
The buckshot eye poke. That's great. I do have a comment on this though. As funny as it is, I've really been enjoying our time with Danhausen here on the podcast, just following along with his story. If nothing else in WWE, it's been a lot of fun and entertaining. But one thing I noticed from that clip, and I'm glad he finally got a match on TV so everyone could see what he could do in the ring, by the way. But do you think maybe just one little critique. I know he did the "you are cursed" for the pyro, but then he did it again before the kick to the head. I feel like that might have been a little bit excessive. I feel like if he gets in the habit of doing that, it's probably going to kind of run its course. So if I were the big wigs in the back, I'd be like, all right, dial it back and keep it down to like one per match, I would say, because you don't want to be the guy that's just like, "You are cursed," and then people are just like, "Oh, okay, eye roll. Here we go." Right now, it's funny. It's fun. Everyone gets a kick out of it. But if you overplay it, you're gonna start to get people that are like, "Okay, here comes Yeet again." So that would be my only critique. But everything else about Danhausen so far has been great. I don't have any complaints. Everything has been really entertaining and fun to watch, and I can't wait to see what they do with him. I'm assuming with this Miz thing that they got going on back and forth. But yeah, it's been a fun time to watch his ascension through WWE since that very strange debut they did. Raji, what are your thoughts about Danhausen now that we're a couple of weeks in to his WWE debut? And do you think he has started to find himself in the land of WWE?
Well, I agree with your critique. Sorry, I agree with your critique, Hausen, to a certain extent. People, I don't think it'll get old. I really don't. I think he could just constantly do that, and it'll never get old because he's not being pushed. We got sick of Yeet because Jay was being pushed to the moon to the main event spot. I think they know what Danhausen is. Danhausen knows what he is, what his role is, what his spot on the roster is. I don't think he will ever consider himself a serious main eventer. And if he does, then he will obviously the shtick will change to a more serious cursing kind of character. But right now he knows where he fits in. So I don't think he'll ever get old. I think people always love this shtick, no matter how often he says it. It'll be the time where they start to push him more and more is when people will start to turn on him because it'll feel like they're being forced down their throat with the whole cursing thing. But like I said, right now everyone loves it because they know it's a comedy gig, and they're keeping it that way. So I think it'll be around for a while and it won't get old. But I'm enjoying it. I think he's doing great in the transition from Indies AEW to now WWE. So yeah, I can't wait to see what he does going forward. I cannot wait for them to get him and R-Truth on the same screen together.
Agree.
Money will be printed.
Absolutely agree. Nate, what do you think about Danhausen? Are you having a fun time with it? Is it tickling you a little bit? See him back here and what they've been doing with him, and are you excited anytime Danhausen crosses the screen?
Okay, follow me on this one because I watch a lot of his stuff on social media because I sit there and I laugh because he's funny. But hear me out. Next week, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, Danhausen wins it, and then obviously, at WrestleMania, they bring him out with the trophy. The Boogeyman and Papa Shango come out too. Think about it.
Dude, I would pop.
That'd be pretty funny. I don't know if you would get Godfather to put the Papa Shango back on again, but in a multiverse, it sounds really funny.
Exactly. That's just me fantasy booking, but I mean, if it happens, hey, WWE, send me a little bit of money.
I feel like it's going to lead to something with him and Miz. That's what it feels like. Whether they get a one-on-one match or whatever, I don't know. But I could also see them colliding in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal too. They could just throw him in there in the middle of that and turn that into something. But yeah, I think Danhausen is a good utility player. You can plug him in anywhere and people are going to love it. And it doesn't matter if it's main event, serious, funny, lower card. That's the advantage of being a utility player like Danhausen. And it's a good spot to be in the company.
Right. Because basically he could fill R-Truth's role whenever he decides, hey, I'm getting too old for this. I need to, step back and put Danhausen in there for the comic relief.
Yep. Or somehow come out in the middle of Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and, try to curse Randy Orton. He steps out of the way and boom. Guess what?
And instead he curses Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll.
Yep. Pat McAfee gets
Hey. Why are we spoiling WrestleMania for everybody?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say.
Put the script away.
Hold on. And if I'm right, then Triple H needs to pay me royalties. But I would say he comes out, he tries to curse Randy Orton, he sidesteps out of the way, Pat McAfee gets cursed, and he gets a leg cramp.
Okay, that'd be funny.
No, actually, what I was thinking was he likes to punt footballs, and what if he shanks a punt that he's going to punt a ball into Cody, and it shanks off his foot and takes out Randy? Because remember, he used to do that thing where he would punt a ball at somebody.
That'd be pretty funny. But then you'd have 2 WrestleManias in a row where one of the fans might get hit, and because last year's Stone Cold, and this year it'd be a Pat McAfee football hit someone in the side of the head.
Listen. I would take a football side of the head and a drunk Stone Cold running into the barricade with his 4-wheeler and about to take me out.
Did you see how that lady sold that? My God, they should have. She should have sold that like a champ. She should have got reached out by Triple H to sign a contract the way she sold that.
She had that split second decision to make that she knew
She
money
took
was
it.
coming. She's like, I've watched enough wrestling. I know how to sell.
Yep. She took it like a champ.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll be back next week to talk about WrestleMania and what kind of shenanigans Danhausen found himself in on the biggest show of the year for WWE. And I'm sure it'll be exciting to talk about. Moving on, staying in the realm of professional wrestling, we got the TNA Rebellion card that took place, was it last night?
Yeah.
At the time of this recording. And I'll just run through the card real quick. And if you guys have any thoughts after, you can just throw in if you want. TNA Rebellion 2026. We had Ryan Nemeth defeating BDE, the YouTuber, in a singles match. That's a feud that's been broiling between the two, and that was a pre-show match there. And then the first card on the actual pay-per-view was Leon Slater, the current champion, who, like I said a few podcasts ago, is basically the racehorse of TNA right now. Like, he is the guy that is like just phenomenal. He's basically like the AJ Styles of TNA right now is Leon Slater. There's so much hype behind him. And if you've ever seen any of these matches, you'll know what I'm talking about. But he turned down Cedric Alexander, part of the Eddie Edwards stable, who is the system, who was trying to get that TNA X Division title. It stays around the waist of Leon Slater. That's a good call there, I think. Even though I do like Cedric Alexander, Leon Slater is just on a whole nother level than anybody else on their roster. And I'm actually really shocked that WWE has not tried to snipe him yet, even though they're both in like a working relationship, nevertheless. Then you had the match number 3 was a singles match between Frankie Kazarian defeating Elijah. and a little bit of an on and off storyline there between those two. The fourth match was Special Agent Zero defeating Moose. And I believe this was the first match for official match for Special Agent Zero in TNA, finally. He had that run-in on the last pay-per-view, I believe, where he got paid by, what was it, Mustafa Ali or something to take out somebody, I can't remember, like a brawl thing. But this was, I believe, his first actual televised official match against Moose. He defeated him. And everyone's just waiting for Alicia Edwards, obviously the wife of Eddie Edwards, to turn on Moose as he goes through this campaign of going through the system. Everyone's just rolling their eyes, waiting for when she's going to do it. We'll see when that happens. Match number 5, we had the Elegance brand taking on Mickie James, ODB, and Taryn Terrell, who made her big comeback from the good old TNA days. She was the one I couldn't remember. I believe it was last week. ODB came out of nowhere, making a return, brought Mickie James back out, and Taryn Terrell also coming back out. Six woman hardcore country tag team match. But Elegance Brand comes away with the big win there, defeating the TNA legends, if you will, in the 5th match. Then you had Nick Nemeth with Bernie Kosar in his corner, defeating AJ Francis, Money, in a singles match there. I saw that and I was like, that is so random. Bernie Kosar in a pro wrestling. I guess were they in Cleveland? That may be why.
Yeah, they were in Cleveland.
Okay, so there you go. They reached out to old Bernie.
Yep, old cement feet.
I was like, this is the first time I've ever seen wrestling and what I think a name I think of in like Tecmo Super Bowl on the same list here. Match number 7, Ariana Grace, obviously the daughter of Santino, who has had the TNA Knockouts title for a while now, defeated Lang Lee, who is the previous champion, in a singles match by pinfall. So she keeps the belt. And shout out to Marky D, he who says Ariana Grace is the daughter who kicked her father in the nuts and then apologized about it. So there you go. Shout out there. Match number 8, we had Mustafa Ali, and it's too bad Zazarus and Grem is not here to rejoice and celebrate and throw confetti, because guess what? His favorite wrestler, Mustafa Ali, defeating Trey Miguel to win the international title. A lot of people were waiting. Actually, I think Grem even called this on last week's podcast. I said Mustafa Ali should be going for the world title, to be honest, but he's much closer to the international title, and they finally pulled the trigger on it and gave it to Mustafa Ali. I'm really happy to see this. He's really put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into TNA since he arrived, and I'm glad to see that they have rewarded him with a title belt there over Trey Miguel. And then our semi-main event saw the System, which was Bear Bronson, Brian Myers, formerly known as, I believe, Kurt Hawkins of WWE, defeating the Hardys, Jeff and Matt, for the World Tag Team titles of TNA. So the System now tag team champions. They lost their bid on the X Division and we'll get to the world title, but now they have the tag belts in the very least. So the Hardys have been dethroned for the TNA World. I'm interested to see if those hippie fellers had something to do with their loss there in that match.
You mean the Righteous?
Yeah, those dudes, because they've been really on the Hardys' case past several months. Maybe they came out and distracted them, and that's how they lost or something. I don't know. And then, of course, our main event of the evening. It seems like this went a lot better than the last TNA pay-per-view main event. Whew. Mike Santana, current TNA World Heavyweight Champion, defeating Eddie Edwards by pinfall to end it off. Almost a 20-minute main event there. Longest match on the card. And Eddie Edwards got this right because of the whole TNA Feast or Fired briefcase thingy they do. He won the TNA World title shot. I believe it was... no, it was Eric. What's the guy's name? Eric. Team Canada.
Steve Macklin was the one that had the fired.
He had the fired one, but the Team Canada Eric.
Eric Young.
Eric Young, yes, he had the TNA X Division title shot, which he cashed in on the last pay-per-view against Leon Slater and failed that. And Eddie Edwards finally cashed in his world title shot briefcase and was turned away by Mike Santana. So I guess they have put a lot of faith into Mike Santana being world champion. And after the last pay-per-view that ended super quick because Macklin got he got knocked out, I guess, concussion, within like a couple of minutes of the main event happening. It's really good to see that they had put on a full 20-minute match here to make it up to the fans and for the world title next pay-per-view main event. Looks like a pretty decent, solid card here. A lot of the storylines I've been kind of watching through proxy of Marky D and just through social media and stuff looks like it is all come to a head here on this event. I'm interested to see what the fans and the reception is of this event, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent. But it looks like they really kind of just tackled all the current storylines going on in TNA right now. I didn't notice anything about the backstage. I think that clip we saw earlier before we started recording, James Mitchell rejoicing with Abyss, that might have taken place on this show as well, or maybe they released that social media is completely separate from the pay-per-view, but I didn't remember seeing that clip before. So I'm really interested to see where they go with the whole rabbit with Tessa Blanchard and all them going through, and with Rosemary going through the previous TNA roster, and you got James Mitchell in there and Abyss, and our good friend Jessica Havoc showing up a few times as well, and Crazy Steve, and really wondering where they're going to go with that. But we'll keep I'll definitely keep my eyes peeled on that and see what's going to happen on that deal. But that's your TNA Rebellion 2026 card there. Raji, do you have anything to add or any thoughts about what you see here?
Nope. I know that Bernie Kosar stole the show with his. I guess he attacked AJ Francis with the steel chair at the end of, and it was a hysterical thing because AJ Francis used to play football and he got in a 3-point stance. So
nice. All right, and Nate, I think you follow TNA more than really either of us. What are your thoughts about the card here? Do you think they pulled off a good card here and the results of the event?
Card-wise, I think they pulled it off. I mean, I'm sure, Bernie Kosar probably didn't move so fast because he's got cement feet, which, yes, I touched on that because I'm a Steelers fan and I don't like Bernie Kosar. But the only thing to look out for TNA-wise is Nick Nemeth still has the Call Your Shot trophy. So he's going to cash that in eventually on Mike Santana, which, I mean, I'm fine with that because I like Nick Nemeth from an in-ring standpoint. And Mustafa Ali finally winning a title in TNA is good. I mean, yeah, the international title, it's a step down from the X Division title, which he should have won. But also, I agree with you. Eventually, he needs to be in the world title picture.
Yeah, as our good friend, again, mentioning him, Marky D says Eddie Slapnut Edwards needs to finally depart from the main event picture and let someone else jump in there. I have nothing against Eddie Edwards. I just like watching his videos, and that's what he calls them. He cannot stand them, I guess. All right. Well, before we get off wrestling and sports news and move over to the Croakitoad side of things, I just wanted to mention something real quick to either one of you. Did you guys hear the whole drama around? It's the TNA guy. Apparently, there's some like independent shows going on here lately where TNA talent is going up against AEW talent in like a indie setting. They're not on like other televisions or whatever, but they're like, it's like a third party independent shows out there. And I guess the TNA guy came out and said, no, none of the TNA talent is allowed to be in the same ring at the same time as AEW talent, even in like independent shows or whatever. And MJF had a huge blow up about this and was like calling TNA out. And of course, MJF is the world champion at AEW and a pretty big fixture on that show. And apparently I just like crossed my social like over the weekend. I was wondering if either of you had heard anything about this at all.
yeah, it was a big stink. It's for Creative Pro Wrestling. Yeah, Nick Nemeth was supposed to face MGF. But they stated, TNA came out and stated that it was due to partner conflicts and contractual obligations to protect other brands, which we all know the partnership with WWE. They're still appearing on the show. They're just not facing each other. So MGF will now host an open challenge, and Nick Nemeth is actually going to be facing Bear Bronson. So they'll be on the same show. They just will be facing each other.
Okay, so it's like basically TKO's way of stepping in and saying no, we don't want our talent losing to AEW or whatever.
I don't know. I guess I know Nick Nemeth was crushed and bummed out about it. MGF called Carlos Silva, a dumb MFer, and the promoter the promoter for the event actually called it a dog shit move, and it said that I have zero reason to work with TNA talent in the future now.
Yeah, because imagine he probably had advertised this. He had people coming in buying tickets to see this match, Ziggler versus MJF, and now it's not going to happen. So yeah, I can understand that.
And people are asking for refunds because they bought tickets specifically for that match, and now if they're not going to get that, they don't want to be a part of it. They want to watch it. So I understand the frustration. I just don't. If it was a problem, they shouldn't have let the match get booked in the first place.
Yeah, they should have tackled this ahead of time for sure. Well, all right. That's our wrestling news wrap up. Again, we'll be back next week to talk about WrestleMania and what all transpired there. So keep your eyes out for that. That'll conclude our sports category. We're going to move on to our final bit of the podcast. And I'll just start off with this week in Croakitoad, and it's going to be another short one because all I did was stream 2 times last week. But one of them was a pretty big deal, though. So on Monday, we did Fatal Frame 2 Remake, and we actually conquered that and was able to finish it and got a few NG Plus endings in the process. I still have a lot more work to do on it in terms of collectibles and getting the rest of the achievements. But in terms of a completion on the channel, which was nice to finally get back to, by the way, we did it. And we can say we finished Fatal Frame 2 as a completion, and really fun game. Glad to get back into it. I'm not looking forward to having to run through it several more times for different endings and collectibles and finding all the notebooks and documents and stuff like that for all the achievements. But eventually, and there's also a nightmare mode achievement as well, where you have to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. But there are 2 unlockables that are very nice to have that I'll inevitably get. One's for infinite ammo, infinite photographs. So you can just plug in the super OP film into the camera and just plug away and have infinite ammo. And I believe the other one is I can't remember what the other one. It might be no reload time at all or something. It's like instantaneous photos. So it really trivializes the game once you get those. But yeah, those will definitely be some rewards I'll be trying to get to kind of just finish the game once and for all and wrap up Fatal Frame 2 Remake for the big 100% on the achievement side of things. And then on Tuesday, which was the last stream I did last week, I guess this will kind of feed into the CPW report as well. We'll just kind of move right in because we had a big show on stream on Tuesday, man. Let me tell you about it. As you all know, I became a Twitch partner several months ago, and being one of the perks of being a Twitch partner is you get to request access to be featured on the main page of twitch.tv. And they like to rotate different streamers out who are partnered on their little carousel thing at the top of the front page. I believe there's between 5 to 8 streamers here or there on the carousel. I was one of them, and we had such a great time on Tuesday. I started around 5 o'clock Central. I didn't get done till 2 a.m. It was like basically an 8-hour stream. And it was the first time I had ever been featured on the Twitch front page. It was the first time I'd ever been featured in any light like that at all. And also I set a record in terms of how many viewers were at my stream. It was an all-time record for me, no matter what stream, username, year, era, whatever you want to call it. It was an all-time high. I had 2,502 peak viewers at one time watching the stream, and we got several screenshots of that, screen grabs. Just to always go back and look at that, because what a moment, what a great moment. But in this 8-hour shift, I spent basically the first 2 hours thanking every one of you out there listening who helped me along the way from the early origins of my streaming on Justin.tv, the numerous name changes, the numerous attempts at building a video gaming community instead of my solo project, because I was very community based for many years rather than focusing on myself. And through like the dark and archaic years of just only being about the E-Fed wrestling, and that's all I did. We went through all those years, the ups and downs, the switches through different streaming websites, from Twitch to Instagib to geez, where else were we? We were on Hitbox. In Game is another one we were on. I think we even did what's that one? That other one. I can't think of it now, but basically we basically Kick as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, all the different changes of all the different streaming platforms we went through over the years, the ups and downs, the highs and lows. Yeah, man, it all culminated to this. Finally found a good community where I could really put my heart and soul into it with Croakitoad. We started it in early 2021 and have been really busting balls since then, putting in the hours, the efforts, the game completions, the content, going out networking, meeting new folks, getting to meet peers on the website, getting to know people, and doing that whole networking thing they talk about. And it finally paid off, getting that notice that I was invited to the partner program. And I couldn't have done it without all of you out there that came along the way, no matter what year or era you were a part of, joining the community, whether you're an old schooler or whether you just joined in the past handful of years. Really appreciate you out there for supporting. Whether it's a lurk, just a view, or subscribing or supporting in any other ways. So thank you all. And I made sure to give everybody a shout out on that front page of Twitch for almost 2 hours. I made sure I made that spot. I got that spot and I was on the main page, and I made sure to say your name on the main page of the website. So I appreciate you all. And I hope that was a fun little deal for you. But then after we did that, we went straight into a Croakitoad Pro Wrestling show, the first one, and the first actually semi-serious one in a while, actually, on the brand new WWE 2K26. We had, I believe, 80 characters made on the roster. I had just been plugging away and working on this in my off time in between working and traveling and stuff. And that's hence the reason why there haven't been too many streams lately in terms of like game completions. I've been putting my heart and soul into this 2K26, making sure it's probably going to be the best season of E-Fed wrestling I've ever done in my entire life. And I think that's not far from the truth. But we basically just did a giant stream of just a string of matches. I think 27 matches to fulfill this 8-hour time slot on the front page on Twitch. Someone actually brought up a good point that they thought, and some of you out there may correct me if I'm wrong, but they thought they had never actually seen an E-Fed kind of show like this ever before on the Twitch front page. So we might have actually made history by being the first E-Fed in an E-Fed type of show to be featured on the front page of twitch.tv. Now, I know other wrestling streamers probably have been featured before. And the first one, obviously, that comes to mind is like New Legacy Inc. have probably been on the front page before. But in an E-Fed wrestling setting where these characters are you, the Twitch viewer, and you're facing each other, and it's built like a series of matches on a show, E-Fed, we might have been the first front page stream ever. We'll have to, someone might have to fact check. I don't know how you would, but as of now, I'll just say, yeah, maybe I was, but that's pretty cool. And in front of 2,500 viewers, we did this. I'll just run down the card real quick because we had a ton of matches. To kick things off, I announced immediately that the Kappa title was going to be put on the line once per hour in this 8-hour shift. Now, I say 8-hour shift. Of course, the first 2 hours was just my thank you love letter to all of you. So in reality, it's like 6 hours for the actual E-Fed show. So every hour in the 6-hour slot, I believe, give or take, the Kappa title was going to be put on the line at random against somebody. And we kicked things off with that very match, with Vampy being the current Kappa champion. And we had the debuting / returning Zozakin, who we haven't seen in ages. Last time we'd seen him was, I believe, 2 years ago. And he comes...
somewhere around there.
Okay. He comes out of nowhere to return and takes down Vampy to win the Kappa title to kick things off. Huge shocker and big surprise just in the very first match of the stream. Second match, we had Puppy defeating Trainer Lindy, a brand new Pokemon inspired girl trainer NPC that has joined the roster this season. Seems like a lot of fans are getting behind her gimmick right now. I mean, who doesn't like Pokemon? Let's be honest. But Puppy gets a big win there over Trainer Lindy in her first match. Our third match, we saw the veteran Adam Brown make his big return to defeat the debuting Helldiver Zach. And so already we're seeing a lot of returns / debuts here on the new CPW roster. This is what I'm talking about. This might end up being the best roster we've ever seen before, to be honest with you. But Adam Brown, the veteran, picking up the win over Helldiver Zach, making his debut, 4-star match there. Then we had a continuation of a feud that is actively going, with Linky and Connie teaming up to take on his old arch nemesis Wizard Boz and his current feud buddy Aiden Gallagher in a tag team match. As usual, Aiden Gallagher walked away with a smile on his face despite the loss. He's always got his next chess game up his sleeve there on Linky, and has certainly become a thorn in his side leading into our big one coming up, our WrestleMania event. That's going to end up being a grudge match for sure. Then after that, we had a couples bout in tag team action. We had Honey and Demon teaming up to take on Lucinda and Necro in 2-on-2 action, and it was Honey and Demon getting the win over Lucinda and Necro in a very short match. I was really surprised it ended as short as it did. I'd like to see these two teams go at it, these two couples go at it one more time, and hopefully we get a little bit better match out of it. But for that match, it was a really short one. Then we had Zozakin coming back out again to put his Kappa title on the line against his first challenger out of nowhere, which was Miles Wildmore, who made his big return. We haven't seen him in a while either. Obviously super corrupted by Azarain, the psychotic clown. Miles Wildmore with a brand new look, looks even more deviant than ever, has totally adopted the jester / evil clown look by being under the tutelage of one Azarain. And despite the creepy appearance, Zozakin was able to turn him away and maintain that Kappa title, which started the beginning of a very, let's just say, impressive streak for Zozakin on the entire night. So big return for Miles Wildmore. Good to see him back again, and what kind of creepy factor he's going to be bringing to the season with his brand new look there. Then we had Monica taking on Danny Adi, and I believe this match started outside of the ring, and the referee said, this match is thrown out, you get out of here. And then the executive decision was made to restart the match and turn it into a dumpster match. So then Monica and Danny Adi fought in a dumpster match on the front page of Twitch. And come to find out, it was Monica who threw Danny Adi inside the dumpster, sat on top of it, and was awfully proud of herself, sitting on top of a dumpster with Danny Adi locked into it on the front page of Twitch. That's kind of a feud extension between OG Brad Vickers and Jen Von Lee. That is probably basically a feud that never ends. But speaking of that, it looks like I missed this on the results page, but we also did have OG Brad Vickers, who is a current reigning hardcore champion, put his hardcore title on the line against the aforementioned Jen Von Lee inside a Hell in a Cell match. And they actually ended up making it to the top of the cell structure. They busted each other through the top of the opening, fell down into the ring. Jen took a giant bump down into the ring, getting crunched through the ceiling. And we thought OG Brad Vickers was going to walk away with it like he usually does against Jen Von Lee. But guess what? Not this time. Jen Von Lee comes back, and just like in her first match and against the tag team champions, she picks up the win. Jen Von Lee now 2-0. And WWE 2K26, a far cry from what her record was last year. Looking good right now, and also now the hardcore champion. Of course, OG Brad Vickers had something to say about that, and was saying that the match might have been misconstrued and that Jen didn't deserve the belt after he had won an 8-person brawl in the backstage. I can kind of see his point. He did really work hard and survive to the end out of 7 other people, whereas Jen just had to beat him in Hell in a Cell. But I don't know, considering what Jen Von Lee's record was last year, for her to come back and be 2-0 now, I mean, I feel like that's very impressive. But we'll see where that's going. That's just more fuel for the rivalry fire between Evan versus Jen. You love to see it. And then after that, we had Disco Bunny defeating AJ Jacobs in singles action. This was obviously set for the Young Lions division. Disco Bunny, the current reigning Young Lions champion. And she took AJ Jacobs to the limit, hit him with 2 clam slams to pick up the win there and be impressive on the front page of Twitch. Again, the current reigning Young Lions champion there, Disco Bunny. After that, we had Grem and Jimmy Zaz, the Cowabunga Club, teaming up to take on Thaddeus and Domino in tag team action. 5-star matchup right there. Great match. And the biggest moment I can think about this match is Domino turning directly to the camera, to all the viewers watching. His AI could have done this any different angle. The camera could have been anywhere else, but no. He had to turn directly to the people watching, the viewers, essentially all of Twitch.tv, and gives a double middle fingers directly. You couldn't get it more directly. Center screen, flipping off everybody on the front page of Twitch. I almost lost it. I almost flipped my table. I was like, Domino's here. He's watching. We've been through hell and high water. We finally made it here to the peak of streaming. Domino, we did it together, buddy, and you're watching this happen right now, and we peaked. We're on the front page, and you flipped everybody off. I know that was you in spirit, my friend. But Graham and Jimmy Zaz picking up a win there in tag action against the Corporation. After that, we had Lady Lavin defeating Diamond in a 3-star match, and the match kind of ended a little prematurely because there was a little bit of a brawl on the outside of the ring. I don't think that really the match even got started, to be honest. Turned more into like a brawl, which is really weird considering that's not in really Lady Lavin's characteristics. But I guess the match got so bad and turned into so much of a brawl that the referee had to throw the X up at the expense of Diamond, who I guess suffered a concussion or got injured in some capacity outside the ring. It certainly was not a match throwout. It was not that. It was more to do with Diamond, I guess, suffering some kind of injury at the hands of Lady Lavin, and the match was called to a stop. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Does this mess with Diamond's future moving forwards? Of course, the last time we saw her, she won that big 4-way match for a shot at Asterial's Women's Championship. Is that now in disarray because of what happened there? Really crazy how that happened. We had never seen that scene before in the game, and it's just really wild that it happened in the Lady Lavin versus Diamond match, where the match was thrown out or put to a stop due to what I presume to be some sort of injury to Diamond, possibly even her neck. After that, we had the Disco King making his return. We only saw him a few times in the past in CPW to get a win over Kitten in one-on-one match with a 3.5 star rating. After that, we had Hype overturning the Slappers of Bernsey in a one-on-one match, 3-star match rating there between the NASCAR man and the Slappers man. After that, we had Morzel and Mr. Cantot taking on the World Tag Team Champions in non-title action 2v2. And just as I said that night as the match was happening, you look at Morzel and Mr. Cantot and you're like, how are these guys threats to the tag team division at all? They don't look very threatening at all. But guess what? They did it again. The baby oil soaked duo managed to get the win over the current world tag team champions, the Titans, Anubis Khan and Welsh Mosher. 4-star matchup. Morzel and Mr. Cantot continue to be the team that you think won't do it, but actually end up doing it. So very strange to see that go down, but I don't expect anything less from Morzel. And maybe they'll be the ones in line for a tag team title shot at the big one, I would say. I mean, they are former champions as well. And then after that, we had Zozakin coming back out again for his hourly Kappa title defense, this time against Whiskers, who had a brand new look and looking creepy as ever, the giant bunny rabbit. But Zozakin able to turn away the former Kappa champion, 4.5 match star rating. And by this time, people were starting to go, okay, Zozakin, he literally debuted in the first match, and now he's like wiping the floor with everybody at this point. Holy crap, is this going to continue? Zozakin certainly getting everyone's attention by this point in the show. After that, we had Mr. Coke defeating Roxas in a one-on-one match. The only caveat was that Spike Ryan was the guest referee, some kind of trolling on the part of Eric Bischoff or Thaddeus, probably to sit back and get a laugh or two to see Coke and Roxas go against one another. Of course, they're on again, off again partners. They can be best friends one day and bitter rivalries the next day. It's just ask them what day it is, I guess. But one thing's for sure, they both have in common that they dislike Spike Ryan, and he was the referee to control their fate. And I guess he just decided the better of two evils for the night was going to be Mr. Coke. He puts the 1-2-3 on Mr. Coke over Roxas in that predicament there to create a little bit of weird storytelling as it pertains to that situation. After that, we apparently the Hell in the Cell structure that was used earlier in that hardcore title match was brought back down because Nathan Moore, Rogue, and Leo Reigns came out together to battle the team of Tad Peters, Celestia, and Maggie Moore. Tad and his doll collection meeting the veterans, the grizzled veterans inside that already torn apart Hell in the Cell. We did, in fact, go back up to the Hell in the Cell again for the second time on Twitch front page. And this time, I believe it was Leo Reigns punching Tad Peters and Celestia through the top of the cell. Nathan Moore and Maggie Moore were too busy just beating the crap out of each other inside the ring down below. But we did have Rogan, Leo Reigns, Tad Peters, and Celestia up on top of the structure, and it collapsed again. Tad Peters and Celestia getting crunched down into the ring mat, and the win. I believe Leo Reigns got the winning pin over Tad Peters, which also brought back a little bit of nostalgia because a few years ago, it was Leo Reigns versus Tad Peters inside that Hell in a Cell, which was a pretty big deal. So for those of you that have been around a while, you remember that match, and it brought back a little bit of nostalgia there between Leo Reigns and Tad Peters in that predicament. After that, we had Raji defeating Julie in a one-on-one match, and these two have certainly had some history. They both joined basically CPW kind of in that same time frame, and are I guess at the time it was RCWF, but 4.5 match starting rating between Raji and Julie, kind of bringing it back old school a little bit for Twitch front page to kind of showcase some of the first people to ever join through the Justin.tv era. It was really nice to see two original JTV characters there do battle against each other, and still two members of the community to this day in 2026. So that was kind of a throwback one-on-one match there, and it was good to see on the front page of everything. After that, we had Buttons taking on Sumo. And of course, Buttons is our current reigning TV champion. It was a non-title match, and she took on a mountain of a man named Sumo. But Buttons, the mischievous duck lady, was able to get the win and showcase that she can pretty much take on anybody when you least expect it. Do not underestimate Buttons, the TV champion. After that, we went to the land of Extreme. We had Butcher Pete taking on Jess Moxie and Deputy Dog in a triple threat Extreme Rules match for the hardcore division. Butcher Pete ends up walking away with the win, and this match was covered in so many thumbtacks I couldn't keep track. The referee crew had to, the staff had to sweep up so many thumbtacks after this match. There was a little bit of a delay between this and the next match to get all the thumbtacks out of there. It was crazy. It was violent. It was bloody, and what you would come to expect from the hardcore division and CPW right now. But Butcher Pete comes away with the win on that one, 5-star match. After that, we had Zozakin coming back out again to defend his Kappa title again on the hour, and this time it was against Sneaky Sean in a 4-star matchup. Unfortunately, Sneaky Sean couldn't get the job done. Zozakin again coming out and running the table, running the gauntlet up to this point. People were really starting to notice this now and wonder if Zozakin could be beaten on this night, turning away Sneaky Sean. After that, we had the former world champion Cassidy Ryan defeating Feats and a great one-on-one matchup, 4-star match rating. I believe the match ended in a rear naked choke from Cassie Ryan. The former world champion had a lot to prove here and wanted to showcase and dominate on the front page of Twitch to let everyone know he should not be forgotten when it comes to the world title picture. So he picks up a decisive victory there against Feats, the former TV champion. After that, we had Chalk defeating Asterial in a women's bout. And this was a great match. A lot of people really enjoyed the aesthetic of seeing Chalk and Asterial in the ring one-on-one. Two very dark, emo, goth mommies going at each other. And I believe Chalk even got her nose busted up or even broken in the process of this match. Very, very brutal match, 5-star match rating. And Asterial, the women's champion right now, picks up a loss here, takes the L against Chalk, who came out of nowhere. And this, if the whole diamond thing doesn't happen, I could certainly see a Chalk versus Asterial goth mommy match at the big one for the women's championship. We'll have to see how that one pans out. And then come to find out, Spike Ryan, Roxas, and Mr. Coke were all coming back to the arena because they had their previous match in a undisclosed location. And I guess Roxas and Spike Ryan found each other in the parking lot outside the building, and they had a little brawl there, to which Spike Ryan actually ended up winning the brawl and knocking Roxas out. So Spike Ryan getting double laughs on the night to turn away Roxas there. And there was also a surprise showing from a WWE superstar that came out of the ambulance. I believe it was Brutus Creed, who just busted out of the ambulance out of nowhere. And I guess he was in cahoots for Roxas. I guess he bought him a hoagie or something to help him put Spike Ryan away or something. But he got knocked out too anyway, so it didn't matter. And Roxas's plan failed. And Spike Ryan walks away with a laugh on his face. But that one's also building up to a big kind of a grudge brawl match at the big one as well, for sure. Then we had the world heavyweight champion of CPW taking on his basically his number one contender in the Royal Rumble Croaky Cabaret winner, Spinny, in a one-on-one match, 3-star match rating. The match ended very quickly, and I was not expecting it to end as abruptly as it did. But Psycho T came out. He was super dominant, and he really just put Spinny down super quick and just proved his dominance as the world heavyweight champion of all of Croakitoad Pro Wrestling. And this, as it stands now, this is the match we're going to get in the main event of the big one for the world heavyweight title. So hopefully Spinny can come away from this and learn from her mistakes and learn how to avoid not getting just basically dominated by Psycho T here and come back stronger in time for that big main event match for the world title. And then our semi-main event of the evening saw Zozakin come out one more time for that Kappa title defense, and he took on a brand new debuting superstar named Jimbo Aberdeen from the mountains of West Virginia. And boy, was that a big boy, and he was hungry. And it looked like he was going to take Zozakin out and take that Kappa title, but unfortunately did not happen. Zozakin again walks away, another big win to keep his Kappa title. 3.5 match star rating over Jimbo Aberdeen. Looking forward to seeing what that big boy brings to the table here in the new season of CPW for sure. As a more expansive roster begins to develop, full of different varieties of cast of characters for sure. It should be fun to see who else pops up. And then our last match of the night to end off the Twitch front page stream was a 30-person Twitch front page Royal Rumble match. We put everybody in a 30-person match who was there in the viewers list watching, just to give back one last time, and ended on a high note. And guess what? The man of the hour, Zozakin, entered in RNG at number 30, the best number you can draw. Entrant number 30, RNG, comes out and wins the entire thing. So not only did he debut and make his return and win the Kappa title, he also defeated 3 or 4 challengers going for his belt and won a 30-man Royal Rumble match. How crazy is that for Zozakin? I've not seen such a dominant display in a series of matches in a long time. I'm really curious to see what the future holds for Zozakin now that he's the champion. Of course, he's got to defend the title on this Tuesday, so we'll see if he's just as dominant as he was on last Tuesday's show on the front page and leading into the big one. But man, what a card. That might have been the biggest card in CPW history. I'm pretty sure it was. Just about everybody you can think of which was featured in some capacity on the show, from top to bottom. Great show. I think all champions were represented as well. I'll pass it over to Raji real quick. Do you have anything to add to this about the stream itself being on front page? Maybe any of the matches that stood out to you, or just anything about the intro for like the first 2 hours of the thank yous, or anything in chat, or anything you'd like to add?
I just want to know when Zozo can get creative control.
When he passed me that $20 bill.
That ain't gonna work for me, brother. Oh, maybe it will. No, it was a good show. I think the first 2 hours was pretty the cherry on top. I think everything after that was just bonus for that stream. I think it's been building and building for years, and that was your time to get it out for everybody and give your thank yous. And I think everybody that was a part of this journey appreciated it, and they could say that they was there whenever you were on the front page for the first time ever.
Absolutely, yeah. For a lot of us that have been around a long time, you're right. It was a long time coming, and it's like, I can remember all those times that we're, humble beginnings all years ago. We're like, man, one of these days it'll be us, man. One of these days we'll be up there. One of these days we'll be a partner, and one of these days we'll get views like that and be featured and stuff. And there's so many years that we were like that, and it finally happened. And it's like, wow, boys, we did it. Nate, what were your thoughts? I mean, you followed me here from AOL to live streaming to Justin.tv. You follow me to the different streaming websites. We started off typing in AOL chat rooms, and we made it through years of doing this. And now to see me on the front page doing E-Fed wrestling, the whole thing that I even came to live streaming to do to begin with, doing it on a platform that I don't really think you can get any higher than that. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, as you said, since, you and I go all the way back to the beginning, I mean, we were back in the really dark ages. I mean, I'm surprised we didn't put matches together by candlelight. But I thought it was great. You actually finally being on front page, and especially somebody caught a screen grab of you flexing while on the front page, which was pretty hilarious to me. Overall, show-wise, it was a show. I agree with Raji about Zezerkin. I think him pulling creative control. I'm just kidding. But, it was well-deserved. But honestly, like, one of my favorite matches of the night was actually the dumpster match. I thought the dumpster match was rather funny. I got a kick out of it.
There's just something about one Twitch streamer sitting on top of a dumpster, which has another Twitch streamer inside of it, and just like smiling and clapping on the front page of Twitch. I mean, isn't it?
Speaking of flexing, hey, can you give us a quick flex right now?
Sure. There you go. I just
your arm doesn't hurt.
I mean, I use my other arm.
Oh,
yeah. I was using my left. I was using my left arm today, and I flexed with my right arm. So
that backfired.
You almost got me, though. You almost got me. Yeah, I was using my left arm today. Oh man. Oh, it is definitely getting sore now, though. All right. Well, that was really fun. Amazing experience. I can't think of anything higher than that when people aspire to become, oh, you know what? I can stream games from my Xbox or my PS5, or I can just stream on Twitch too and play video games. I don't think there's any higher accomplishment than that for someone just starting to want to do this and to be featured on the front page. I don't really know if there's anything higher you can do than that. And it just still, to me, is just like really, my brain is almost a week later, my brain is still trying to like fathom that that's actually what happened. It's still like, oh my God, all these years finally led up to that, all the ups, all the downs, all the people that have come and gone, and people that have been here and supported me all the years. It's just like, man, all I can do is just like sit back and lean in my chair and say, we did it, man. We did it, everybody. We finally did it. It was all of us.
I think your next goal ought to be trying to get 10K viewers.
Oh man. Well, maybe one of these times I'll show up at iShow Speed's house, and then we'll do a collab stream.
There you go.
Maybe yeah, with LA Knight. That'll be the next goal. No, the goal right now, actually, and someone asked me this the other day. This is unrelated to the CPW, but someone asked me, what's kind of next for you? Like, what are you looking at next? And I said, my main goal right now, when it comes to like the online stuff, is I want to get this podcast out there. I'm really like putting everything into this podcast. That's my big intention right now. So we appreciate all you guys out there listening and supporting the podcast and giving your thoughts, dropping your likes, follows, and subs to us and listening each week. We appreciate you all. So thank you for being supporters of our podcast, because I really do. And I know all the other guys here really do put all of their effort into this to make this a thing. And I'm really happy where it is right now, and hope to keep on putting out great content for you in a podcast manner. But yeah, that'll do it for the CPW report. When we come back next Tuesday, we'll be talking about our next show, which will not be front page. It'll just be a normal show, but there will be plenty to talk about because, no, it won't be. Okay. It'll be our second to last show before the big one. We got the big one coming up Tuesday, April 28th. So that means that this upcoming 14th will be the second to last show. And then the 21st will be the go home show. So we literally have 2 shows to get storylines, plots, and feuds up, popping, and broiling in the kitchen to get ready for the big one. And we've already got a really good start on a lot of them. And you can expect the next 2 shows every Tuesday to be very storyline heavy, very Tad Lib heavy, as people start to whoop each other's asses getting ready to go to the big one. But all right, that'll do it with the CPW report. And also, I just want to point out, we are, I think I mentioned this before, but we are actually up to 80 created wrestlers now on the game. Obviously, there's 200 available slots, and we have filled up the capacity to 80, and I can think on my head right now another 15 that need to be made right now, like immediately. So I've still got some work to do, and got a lot more surprises set for you guys that I'm not going to spoil. You'll just have to keep on watching to see what happens, and I'm really looking forward to this season. Someone asked me another question about, like, man, is this like the most you've ever really put into it? And I said, actually, in all the years I've been doing this, I think so. Just about everybody has multiple attires, upgraded theme songs, which you'll be hearing this Tuesday, by the way. Spoiler alert. A lot of you have upgraded themes. Facial coatings, move sets, tag team finishers, the whole 9 yards. Like, this is definitely, I feel like, the most I've ever put into a season of e-fedding since I started doing it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how 2K26 runs throughout its lifespan here. But yeah, that'll do it for the CPW report. There's only 2 things left to do, and that's to give a little bit of shout out and search the land of the Croakitoad Gaming Twitch stream team, and talk about a little bit about what all of you were streaming and what you were up to last week and over the weekend, and then reveal our streamer of the week, and that'll end us off. But yeah, we'll start off with a little bit of news here with all of you guys that were out there streaming. I once again put a post out there to ask you guys what you were all up to, and this is what you guys came up with. Looks like Lucinda finished up Little Kitty Big City and is going to be starting a new game, which was going to be Watch Dogs for a first playthrough, or Akumu difficulty for Evil Within. Ooh, and she's currently got a poll running in her community on what they decided, and that would have been today. So I'm not sure if it was Watch Dogs or Evil Within. Maybe one of you guys can check to her latest VOD and see which one won. But Lucinda,
who?
Lucinda TTV.
Watch Dogs.
Oh, okay. The original Watch Dogs first time playthrough actually won with her community. So hopefully that was a good start for you, Lucinda, playing Watch Dogs for the first time. Good choice of a game. I think it might be a little bit easier than having to play the Evil Within on Akumu difficulty, though. Just saying. Then after that, we had Roxas saying he was going to do some Resident Evil. And for that, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Coke, because he always has his finger on the pulse of Roxas. Did he, in fact, do Resident Evil last week or over the weekend?
No, not as far as I can tell.
Roxas.
I can check real quick. His last... Oh, he actually did do Resident Evil 2 a few days ago.
Well, All right. Well, there you go. Roxas doing some Resident Evil 2, I'm assuming remake on his Twitch stream. So he's entering the world of Resident Evil there. We also had Welsh Mosher coming in saying he was going to do some Soul Mask and then a ghost hunting game called The Other Side. And Mosher, also known as Meredith, always does those brand new hot release games, those early access games. He's like the early access game master. He's always playing those brand new ones. Then we had Daniel McGee coming in saying he was going to do some more Power Simulator 2 and then maybe some Marvel Rivals on today. So hopefully that went good for you, Daniel. And if you're checking out that Adventure Time DLC on Power Wash Simulator 2, I hope you enjoyed it. And then Feeds came in and saying he was going to do some Fear Effect 2, some TRLEs, and he was going to do a 12-hour stream today, actually, Sunday. Did he actually do a 12-hour stream today?
Yes, Feats did a 12-hour stream. When I popped in, he was playing a Monkey Island game.
Oh, nice. A monkey theme was selected by the Redeemer, so starting with a game called Warm Monkey, then got a couple of other monkey-themed games redeemed by viewers that I can pick from after that. And then also Dino Crisis speedruns and TRLE content as well. So yeah, there you go. Feats with a 12-hour stream playing nothing but monkey-themed games. Never heard of that before, but kudos to you for able to find enough monkey-themed games to fill a 12-hour slot. And then we had Liz the Lefty looks like she's coming in, still trying to figure out her OBS and stream elements and stuff. Man, there's so much time that goes into that, Liz. I really hope that you got all that figured out. There's so much that goes into integrations and alerts and stuff like that. So hopefully you got that stuff sorted. And then we had Zozakin coming in with playing an indie game called Pepper's Puzzles, which is basically a collection of Picross puzzles. Also doing some Ocarina of Time, and he also got a brand new microphone. And we actually heard that brand new microphone last week, and it sounds really good. So glad you got an upgrade there. And as of today of this podcast, looks like he was doing some board games, and he does those once a month, and he does them with his online friends and fellow board game enthusiasts. So hopefully that went well for you today. Zozakin doing some board games. I'm not sure if that's just doing like an OG way of doing it or their tabletop sim or however, but that sounds like a lot of fun and a great way to spend a chill Sunday. Hopefully that went well for you. And also, I just want to do another announcement. As the time of this recording, we do have It's Pocket streaming right now, doing some God of War remake, the Greek God of War game. Looks like Pocket is currently going through a run of that right now. And I also wanted to do a little shout out here to three brand new members of the Croakitoad stream team on Twitch, bringing our total amount of members up to 54 now. We are way past the 50 threshold. Appreciate everyone joining in and checking out the Croakitoad stream team. Our newest members, Sean the Shoe, who usually does a E-Fed wrestling once a week on WWE, kind of like CPW. He calls it MUW. He's been doing it a long time and really loves the E-Fed stuff. What day does he usually do that, Nate?
Monday, but like he was streaming, I think it was Friday night, he was playing MLB The Show 26.
Okay, so he does... What's that?
Well, he can restart the show. Shout out. If you know, you know.
There you go. That's an old one. All right, so he does a Monday WWE show, but he also does a lot of MLB as well. Outside of that, so check him out. He's a longtime member of the community. We go way back to those humble beginnings, Justin.tv era. Sean the Show, glad to know he's still kicking and streaming out there. And then we had Honey Lil Yee joining the stream team. Really appreciate Honey and Demon. Gave them a big shout out during that front page stream. Welcome to the team, Honey. Glad to have you. And you need to get Demon to sign up on this sucker. Get him to accept that invite to join the team as well. And then our final and most recent member of the stream team is Lilu Horrors. So glad to have her on board as well. Plays lots of horror games and Resident Evil and indie horror. Just basically your big variety horror kind of streamer there. And glad to have Lilu on board as well as our newest member of the Croakitoad stream team. So that's kind of what's been going on around the world of the stream team. And glad to have you all guys on there. And I'd like to see a little bit more of some of these other names that I haven't streamed in a while. I'm not going to call anybody out, don't worry. But I'd like to see some of these other names on this list who I haven't seen stream in a long time get those streams active again, because that'd be awesome, really awesome to see. But all right, that'll end that. I guess there's only one thing left to do. We're going to reveal our Croakitoad Streamer of the Week. I believe this is number 7, our 7th streamer.
7, yeah.
Croakitoad Streamer of the Week. Number 7 goes to none other than one of the oldest streamers that I know from Justin.tv era. And we sure talked a lot about him here on the tail end of this podcast. And he's probably listening to this right now. 7th streamer of the week, who has been putting in his hours here and there when he can, where he can, sticking true to his roots, playing all that retro stuff, and never kind of steps out. And I say this in a good way, always stays within that threshold and that theme of what he's known for all these years, and that's that retro gameplay style and those niche games. And that's going to go out to Zozakin. And well, here we go. Clappy sound effect for Zozakin, winning our 7th weekly Croakitoad Streamer of the Week. And I'm going to show you guys something listening on the podcast. You can actually avert your eyes over to the screen now, because you'll actually be able to see this. But This is pretty wild. I found a trailer, a clip from Zozakin's channel, and it's not every day you see something like this, because we usually like to play clip of the week. And I found this, and this is a 6.5 minute. We're not going to listen to all of it. We'll just play a little bit of a chunk of it. But this is a 6.5 minute clip from Zozakin's channel. And this goes to show you how far back he goes. From 16 years ago, this clip is from. Holy moly. 16 years ago. And we'll play it right here for just a few minutes, and everyone will get a little bit of a nostalgia-gasm.
Hello and welcome to the stream. I am Zozakin, and I've been asked several times before, what are you going to stream, and what do you normally stream? I've been kind of famous so far for doing Marios and some things like that, but I want to tell you, my channel is much more than that.
Welcome to the broadcast.
I don't just play Mario hacks. I play a slew of other games like Zelda. And tactical RPGs and games you've never heard of in Japanese. The computer's thinking. Just take my ninja with the ninja. There you go. Alright. I play mystery dungeon games.
Wow, what a trailer, man. Just watching this brings me back to the the old JTV days. Just between the quality, like the pixely quality, just reminds me of how all of our streams used to look like that back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Just remember, this was made 16 years ago. So
Favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time, was this Earthbound? It is. There you go.
I want to stream the Mother series someday, so I might as well put this up here.
Nice.
It won't be quite a while though.
Well, there you go, guys. We couldn't find an actual like gaming clip that's kind of the best we could find, but I figured it says 16 years ago. That's just as good as any clip you could ever find, just because it shows the longevity and how long Zozokin's been around. Man, really wild to have I don't believe I've ever seen anything 16 years ago before.
No, I don't think you have. Yeah.
That's pretty wild. But yeah, congrats to Zozokin on winning this week's Streamer of the Week. Keep on trucking, man. You've been doing it a long time. You've stayed true to your roots and what you like to stream in your niche games, and you've owned it. Obviously, you play a lot of different games, but yeah, you're still going. And nice to have you back on board in the community and everything. And yeah, hopefully this kind of adds a few more eyes to your stream and gets some notoriety out there for you, because you certainly deserve it for longevity's worth alone, for still doing the Twitch thing. So appreciate you, Zones, again, and enjoy your Streamer of the Week. And yeah, that's really all I got. Unless you guys want to add anything else, I guess we're gonna wrap this one up.
No, I think you said it all, man.
All right. Well, that'll end us off here for this week's episode 7 of the Toad Talk podcast. Appreciate everyone once again for dropping your suggestions to us on what you'd like for us to talk about. And as usual, please like, follow, and subscribe to us on whatever platform you're listening to the podcast playlist. We'll be back next weekend. We'll be covering WrestleMania and more NASCAR after Kansas. And this week's CPW, we'll be talking a little bit more about that, and as well as revealing next week's Streamer of the Week. So get those streams in, everybody, and as well as more game, movies, and video game trailers as well. And hopefully we'll have Zazarus back with us again next week as well, but we'll see. Looks like Raji has departed from the podcast early, but thanks, Nate, for filling in for Grem. Really appreciate that.
Yep, not a problem, man.
And we will see all the rest of you on the next episode of Toad Talk. Thank you, everybody. And remember, enter that giveaway, that Pragmata giveaway. I think he said is next week, right?
Yeah.
Next week, this is your last chance to enter that Toad Talk giveaway for a copy of Pragmata coming out. Enter it. Have a good one, everyone, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye.
Bye.